What's going on, guys? It's Thrift CQ here, and in this video I'm going to be sharing the shipping companies I use to ship my items around Canada as well as from Canada to the US. So if you saw the title of my video, it's really just me showing you the companies that I use that help me ship items. Just to let you know, I'm not sponsored by any of these shipping companies, and I'm going to be giving you my unbiased opinion for all three of them. Now, you may be thinking, isn't there only one main shipping company for items that you sell from Canada, which is Canada Post? And the reality is that's not true. There are actually several that will give you a way better rate. Sometimes it'll even give you just more convenience with what you're trying to send. Now, don't get me wrong, I still use Canada Post to ship my items, but having these other shipping companies at my disposal will allow me to provide a more competitive rate for shipping for places like the US, which is where I mainly sell most of my items other than Canada. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these three shipping companies, and I'm just going to give key points of the good and the bad of each. So the first company I'm going to be showing you is Canada Post. Now, this is pretty much the primary one you use for eBay. When you sell an item in Canada, it directs you to Shippo, and you see the items directly showing the Canada Post pricing for specific, I guess for like regular parcel, expedited. Now, I would say the good thing about Canada Post is, I mean, there's thousands of locations. You can go to, say, like a Shoppers Drug Mart or a Max, and they just have so many locations at your disposal. I guarantee you there's one within at least a 1 to 5 kilometer radius of where you live. There's going to be a Canada Post there. So they have that as a huge convenience for them. Another thing I would say is, obviously it's the only main source, like real main source of shipping your items. So I mean, it has to have that type of reliability with that name and that specific company. Like, I've never had a problem with having issues, but there may have been like maybe one hiccup, but it got addressed so quickly after I contacted them. They also have things now like flat rate boxes, which is something I think that would be a great idea, just because depending on, I guess, an item that you have, if you wanted to ship it out to, let's say, somewhere in BC, you know, it's going to be a lot more as opposed to somewhere, I'm in Ontario right now, but as opposed from Ontario. So you see, you're only going to pay that flat rate of that box, and as long as it fits inside and within the weight, I guess, parameters, you should be okay to ship it. Okay, and here are the points that I think that are a bit troublesome with Canada Post. First off, definitely the pricing, because they're pretty much the main primary shipper for eBay. Their prices are insane. Like, I mean, it can be a little ridiculous when it comes to, say, selling like a t-shirt. Sometimes I don't want to have to ship like a t-shirt for 15 bucks, and that thing is light and it doesn't take up a lot of space, but yet it's going to be between 10 and 15 bucks to ship that t-shirt. If you use like for example, in the US, they have their pricing for like maybe a t-shirt is like 4 or 5 bucks for first class mail, which is insane. Like, what kind of, it's such a huge difference from what the pricing is in the US as to what is over here. So it definitely is hindering a bit. I get that sometimes, like, I mean, obviously if a customer really wants it, they'll pay for it, but it just gives you that next level step if you are able to give a better price to, say, people in the US, and give them a similar price of what you're willing to offer in, say, like sometimes in Canada. So for example, in the States, like if we were sending it by Canada Post and you were sending a t-shirt from Canada to the US using Canada Post, it'll literally cost between $18 and $25 just to ship that item. which is ridiculous. Now, before I get on to the other two shipping companies, first off, I just want to give credit where credit is due. I've been following a specific person on Instagram, and she's been so helpful with like if I had any questions regarding shipping. She ships in, like I guess she's a seller in Canada as well, and having learned these new shipping companies from her, it just helped open my eyes and expanded my horizons with wanting to ship in the US, because it's a whole new animal selling over there, because they just sell a lot more. People are willing to use eBay as a tool as opposed to like Canada. Like, they don't really buy clothes as much in Canada as opposed to the US using eBay. So it's great to see this option available to me. So I'll put a link to her Instagram page below. Her name is Outdoor Girl 10 BTQ, and she sells like a lot of clothing too. And just seeing her sales and how she does, it just inspired me, and makes me want to be a better seller as well. Okay, so the second company I use to help me ship items is a company called Stallion Express. I'll leave a link of the company in the description below, but it's another company that is helping the small businesses out with shipping your items for way cheap from Canada to the US. So here's how it works really. This really goes for both companies, where what they do is they use USPS as the main shipping company, and what they do is they have a truck that will drive all the way to their warehouse in the US, and they would distribute the packages directly to USPS from there. So that would allow us to use the USPS pricing as opposed to just using Canada Post, because Canada Post, obviously they charge an arm and a leg just for sending a shirt out, whereas I can confidently know that from here to, let's say, California, sending a t-shirt is going to cost me $6-7 Canadian. And because I know that, I can incorporate that into either my pricing and provide free shipping, or I know confidently I can charge them like $7-8 for shipping, and work with the pricing to make sure it's within a specific or a reasonable range. Now here's the thing, if you want to purchase the label through that company, you just have to pay a small fee when you do. And so I guess depending on how much the actual postage is, generally what I've been paying is like literally no less than 55 cents to $1. I mean, obviously if you're gonna get heavier things, it'll cost a bit more, but it's not that much. So this really helps me, and I noticed it as soon as I started using it, that my sales went up like crazy as soon as I started selling and giving a better rate in the US. So let's go over the main points that I think that are really good and really convenient with having a company like Stallion Express. So the first thing is you can connect your stores directly to their website. So if you have a eBay account, an Amazon account, an Etsy account, or a Shopify account, you can connect all your order details directly to your account, and you'll be able to push all your orders directly into the website, so it'll, without having to input any information. So that it definitely speeds the process of you creating labels. The other thing is that they have workstations at their location. So if you don't have a printer and you just want to be able to print out labels, or even like doing the taping or weighing of the items, you can actually do it at their workstations at their location. They have scales there, they have tape and markers there, so you can actually do everything over there. And they have thermal printers over there too, so you can just stick the labels right on, and then you can put it on their cart, and then they'll be sending it out that night. The other thing I think that makes this company pretty unique is that they very much encourage shipping to Amazon FBA. So if you're an Amazon seller, they ship there to the US warehouses. Now, all this information is going to be on their website. I'll put the link again in the description to Stallion Express so you can learn more. But really, it's nice to know if you do any type of Amazon like selling from there, you do have that option and you get a decent rate compared to, I guess, what you would generally be paying for shipping it regularly with like I guess a FedEx or another courier. So it's nice that they have that. The other thing too, if you actually go on their website, you can see they actually have services for like people that actually help you sort the items out. If you have private label or wholesale or online arbitrage, they have a service that like one of the packages they have is like actually taking photos and like labeling them for you. So again, that's really amazing to have a service like that. And I don't think I've seen that anywhere, to be honest. Now, another good point to bring out is when you add credits to your shipping account. So they actually accept PayPal, which I think is pretty convenient because you're already doing the transaction on PayPal anyway. So allowing you to upload the funds for PayPal or directly from PayPal, I just think is even more convenient. Now, the other thing I think is kind of an inconvenience is they only accept a minimum of $10 to upload. So it's kind of sucks because like I might have one shirt sold and I only need to upload $5-7 of credit to ship this item, but now I have to like upload a minimum of $10 credit so I can ship that item. So I have $3 stuck in there. So it's kind of a bit of an annoying thing, but I think it's not too big of a deal. But I mean, I would prefer if I can just add the amount of the actual shipping, just so I don't have to worry about having to like lose that amount. I mean, that's technically some of my profit too, right? So I don't really want to like add a lot more credit than I should. Now, the location happens to be located where like I work near right now, so it's in Markham, Ontario. So if you're in that area, that's the only location it's at. But they actually have a referral program too available, which if you use the link I can give you, it'll be in the description below, but it'll allow you to get free $25 credit once you load $100 in your account. So it's pretty cool to have. I mean, obviously it's an extra $25. Now, the second company that I use is called Chit Chats. Now, Chit Chats is more of an established company. I think they were one of the pioneers of this type of service. With that, here are the good things I think that are really good with this specific company. So I guess the main thing is that they have a lot of locations. It's not just in Ontario, but I mean, the main amount of locations they have are in Ontario. So if you're in downtown Toronto, if you're in Markham, Pickering, Mississauga, Vaughan, I think Burlington as well, they have locations there. But they also have in like Quebec, Alberta, BC, Nova Scotia. So if you are in those provinces as well, they actually have drop-off locations, and it's just a lot more convenient if you're a reseller in these provinces and you want to be able to like just take advantage of using USPS prices. Now, one thing also I forgot to mention, this goes with both companies, Stallion Express and Chit Chats. They do courier pickups as well. So I guess depending on the amount of packages you have, you can arrange someone to have it picked up for you. I'm assuming it's for some sort of fee, but at least that service is available to you if you want that. Another good thing is they also connect to your stores as well. So if you have an eBay account, Amazon, Etsy, or Shopify, you can connect your order details to your account, your Chit Chats account. Also, I don't know if all locations have this, but the ones that I've been to, they also have workstations as well. So they have scales, they have computers and thermal printers if you want to print out your labels directly from the location, which I do personally because it's so convenient. I don't have to worry about buying ink all the time, and because I only have a printer, I don't have like some things like a thermal printer, which I'll eventually invest in, but just right now it's just really convenient for me. I'll go to the location anyway, so I just end up taking about, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes just going into there and printing it out. Now mind you, I actually go through all the shipping things prior to before I get there, so I actually pay for the labels and I input all the shipping information prior to me going to these locations, and then so when I go to them, I just print them and I can just stick them on, and that's it. I don't have to worry about measuring them or anything or getting the weight at the time. It's just my process specifically, but I just find it really convenient for me to do. Now for the bad. Really, there's not much that's bad. The only thing I would say really is they only take credit card as a payment. They don't accept PayPal to upload credits, which I think it would be convenient if they had PayPal. But I mean, other than that, it doesn't really bother me as much. But I mean, just because we have no choice really to pay any other way other than credit card. And just as Stallion Express, they do have a minimum credit upload. So here's what I generally do if I have like multiple orders. I generally get all the information, input the size and the weight, and then once I have all that, I get out and then I create a new shipment, and then I do this so I can find out the totals for each one, and then once I do that, I can add the credits and just add both together, the amount of both shipments, so that it'll be more than $10, and then that way I'll be able to add the credit and not feel guilty about adding more than what I should. Now they also have a referral program as well. I'm not too sure specifically how it works for the new person, but I think what it does is you actually get 25% commission off of the referral's delivery fees for 6 months. Now if you refer someone, then you can get that too. So I'll leave a description below if you do want to create a Chit Chats account. It's free. You can just use my link though, in case you want to. It's in the description below as well. Now here's how I use all 3 shipping companies in my everyday life. And so if there is a day where I had sales and I was off on a Friday and I was going to do thrifting, I generally do thrifting in the east. So let's say around like Ajax, Ontario, and Pickering. So what I do is I'll use the Chit Chats location in Pickering, and I'll use the shipping company there. Now if it's something where I'm going to work, where I work in Markham right now, I'll use Stallion Express generally because it's right along the way of my work. Also, depending on the item too. So here's the thing, when you make a sale, this is what I do. I go through the 3 websites and try to find the best rate, because generally actually with like heavier items and the bigger items, sending domestically, I find Canada Post actually has better pricing than Chit Chats or Stallion Express sometimes. So sometimes I'll use Canada Post too. So if you know though you're going to be shipping it to the US though, I would highly look into using Chit Chats or Stallion Express, because you're going to get a way better rate. That's guaranteed. Like even if it's a huge item, you're going to get a better rate. That's just how it is. So overall guys, that's pretty much it with all these 3 companies. Again, they all have their own ups and downs, but at the end of the day, it's great to have other options available other than just one. just so that you can get the best rate possible, and hopefully it'll help you boost your sales too. So again, I'll leave the links in the description below if you want to create accounts for both Chit Chat and Stallion Express. Now, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, as well as if you like these types of videos, please give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell if you want to get more of my videos. And other than that, I want to thank you again for all your support, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate each and every one of your comments. It just means so much to me that you're watching my videos, and hopefully you're learning something too at the same time. But also, you're also motivated to do what you want to do with whether it's selling or any type of other company that or small business that you want to run. Just keep at it and don't give up. Again, thank you guys so much again. This is Thrift BCQ signing out.